Hello, everyone. Welcome again for another GameCamp webinar. Today we'll be talking about founder's journey. So we'll have the founder who will be sharing with us how actually he started, how he was developing and growing his successful company. So I'm pretty sure it will be great content, not only just for the people who are building and growing the gaming companies, but any other like tech company that wants to be successful. So welcome. Let's invite to the stage our first guest, so Dariusz Furman, who is founder of FunVenture. He will be sharing his story with us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mariusz, for the opportunity to be here. I'm really grateful for this.
Thank you for coming. And then let's invite to the stage Alec from Google for Startups, who will be together with me, will be hosting this session. Welcome, Alec.
Thank you, Mariusz, for the invitation. Very excited for this webinar.
Thank you. As always, of course, we welcome and actually invite everyone to join the discussion, because at first we'll have the direct presentation, and then we'll have the Q&A session, and we are really encouraging you to add the questions via Slido. You just go to the www.slido, and then you add the name GameCamp as the name of the event, and then you can add the questions from your side, and then vote for the questions of other people. Again, I think it's really unique opportunity to ask easy and difficult questions to direct to all of us in this case. And then, not spending even more time on that, let's welcome Darek to share his story and how actually he was starting and developing the company. Darek, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mariusz, once more time, and of course, Alexander as well. Thank you for such an amazing opportunity to be here and speak about my passion. So starting with my slides, a little bit about myself. My name is Dariusz Furman. I'm the founder of FunVenture mobile game development company. We are placed in Kraków. At the moment, we are working in 8 person. I've started this company in 2018 as a single developer. And before the FunVenture, I had an amazing opportunity to work with amazing people in 2 different startups. Both of them were related with the games as well. And I had a really nice opportunity to work with amazing teams there, and there were some incredible talents. So shout out to GameStream and Sotpeo for team for that, and I'm really glad that I was in those teams back then. And in my career, I was working under many projects actually. Most of them didn't came out as successful as a few were actually successes. But I'm really happy that we managed to release at least two successful games for my company as a FunVenture. The first game, and actually the game that founded my own company, was Almighty, which is initially it was a really simple idle incremental game. However, after a few years of development, it turned out to be a multiplayer social role-playing game. And we were developing, initially I was developing this after hours in 10 months. Later on, we were live operating this for the next 2 years, and we just couldn't stop developing this. It was the amazing journey, but of course we made hundreds of mistakes during the development of this game, and of course we had also were struggling a lot of scaling it. And skipping to the next game was Miner Settlement. At the moment, it's our main product of the game of my company. This game was developed in 8 months, and now we are live operating it. We are supporting this in 8% at the moment. It's a social multiplayer idle RPG game. I had to say about the social because this game is we really focus on the social aspect of this game to bring the most of community to the game. We think that we learn a lot from Almighty, and we didn't make any drastic moves that potentially affect our product at the moment. After at least we are operating this game already one year, so we think we didn't reproduce the same mistakes that we did within the Almighty. However, it wasn't that easy to get to the second product. And speaking of, here are just a few examples. The nicest looking one that actually we failed a lot. Like along my career, I was trying to gather as much experience within free-to-play genre business as I could. And nowadays, free-to-play games market is incredibly competitive, and every year is much tougher to enter with the new games, and for the new companies to enter is much tougher than I was starting like a few years ago. Even then, it was already really hard to enter, but nowadays it's getting more and more competitive. However, it's still amazing market, and I'm really happy that I can participate in generating amazing content for the people. But there is no possibility actually to predict if our games will be a success or no. So as you can see, here are just only 5 examples of the games we created as a FunVenture that didn't that they are not shown even in the market at the moment. Few were even not released because of a few different failures, like we didn't expect such a competition or after the test, etc. So we just skipped the product and moved on. It's really tough for us, but I'm aware that we are not the only one who are doing such and I know many other companies moving on from failures just to save the money, save the talents that we have, and we work towards another success all the time. Yeah, I've decided to prepare my presentation around 3 different aspects of development of my company. And I wanted to share the experience I gathered during this journey. First aspect will be the games development. Second aspect is company development, and third aspect, as important as the others, will be self-development. It's a really important aspect as well. In all those three aspects, I wanted to share the key points for you. I personally think are the most important for me and for my company as well, and at least for my team. We share the same vision. So, starting with games development aspect, for me, counting on getting feature is not a case of business. Back at days, it was actually game-changing key point for me to understand that we can't count on featuring. And it was even before actually the changes in app stores that affected the performance of the featuring. So featuring before was a huge thing, but still I decided to skip the featuring possibilities as a business plan, because we can't count on it. It's like lucky shot. And back days, most companies have been building a success stories around releasing the game and being featured. And the more success stories appeared, the more competitors wanted to join the party and take some part of the cake, And I've also been trying to be featured, and I failed 2 times. And after the second failure, I learned that I just can't rely on the business on getting featured by just lucky shot. And I wanted to start to rely on the data and learn from the best. I saw many games back then starting to do UA in Poland as well. So I just was trying to learn from the best competitors on the market, figure out how they are doing the UA, how they are measuring those KPIs. When I was releasing my first games, I didn't even know the word what is the KPI. When I joined those 2 startups later on, they opened my eyes, and I just started to see different things. It was an amazing experience to join them and learn from the best. And we of course it wasn't like nowadays high level attribution and measuring at cohorts data. I was I was really limited in the cache, and I was doing this really primitive way. Like I was calculating the RPU without even splitting the paid user acquisition and organic acquisition. So we were just taking some time gathering how much revenue we generated, divided this by amount of people, and we were measuring how our RPU is looking and how much we can spend. We were already knew from looking at the business that of course the paid movement, even back days, it was really golden cohorts. Like when we were buying the people, we could spend much more actually than our average RPU was looking, because the paid user was much better back then. At the moment, it's a bit different. It's much tougher and much more competitive market. But it's still the case we are doing, and we are still trying to measure everything. And another 2 key points worth to mention are: every game is different case, and there is no single best KPI. I wanted to initially split those metrics, but they are really close to each other. Okay, every game is a different case, but it's important to know that the game can be success even if it have a totally different KPIs than other similar games. It's like we initially in our company we were looking at average numbers, and we saw that few games, like, they had day one retention 60%, and we thought that we have to be at least 50% to win the market and be competitive on the market. Nowadays, I know that we were totally wrong, but we had to learn this, and along our path where we are now, and we at the moment we know that this was so wrong. We have to be aware that benchmarks are giving us only average numbers. The KPIs are actually secret to the companies that are running those games, and benchmarks that are shown to us are the mix of the 100 top games. It's not they are showing totally different numbers that the game actually shown us. So if you want to know the KPI of the game, you actually should ask the people who run those games. This is something that we learned much more too late, and if we would knew that before, Almighty would be in much better condition at the moment. And we as developers and designers should be aware that how to read the data and how other KPIs are affecting each other. So when, for example, you don't have day one retention 60%, you have to manage different KPIs to be higher. If you have day one retention 60%, you can, for example, move towards day three and gather better conversion rates for the cheaper prices, etc., etc. Like I said, every game is totally different, and at the moment we know that. Before we didn't knew that, and I wanted to share this. Another thing really hurting us is A/B test every product change, and this is something we learned on a failure, and it's I really encourage all of you to A/B test every product change. If you have some assumptions that you think it should work or affect the game in the way you think it should, A/B test it, because from my experience, I know that sometimes it's even not close to the things we are thinking about, and that the results showing totally different answer that assumption was. So just ask correct questions, test everything. And I'm not speaking of new features, because of course there is no possibility, or it's much tougher to test new features, introducing new features, because, for example, when we have a MMO style of game, when we introduce the new feature, we can't introduce it to half of the people because of unfair treating the players. We could, of course, we could make some servers, alpha testers, and introduce to this feature only to alpha testers. But even then, those alpha testers would be the people that want to test this feature. So the measurement of this would be really hard. But in our case, we had in Almighty was a really nice product, and we took a really tough lesson from it. We were introducing we were introducing and changing the game based on our assumptions that doesn't met the people expectations later on, and months after months, our game even if we thought that we are introducing new features and they are really nice to the players, and we are changing the funnels. When we started to A/B test, it was much too late, and we take our lessons really in hard way, and still, if you were running those A/B tests, for example, in a good product, and they were turning out good, and you want to replicate the same situation in the new game, I still encourage you to test this in the new game, because, as I said, every game is a totally different case. So your assumption if that this thing will work in your game is can be totally wrong, because this game and those players that are playing actually your game are expecting, for example, totally different games. So that's just another key point that wanted to mention. And another slide. Take learnings from collected data. It's like I told you in A/B test. A/B testings are really good also for learning and taking lessons, because we can measure not only the KPI we try to affect, but we can measure also the other things. For example, back to the slide. We were measuring, like, the winner here was we were measuring the conversion rate of in-app purchases, but we also measured the ad revenue coming from those purchases, and it was really unexpected that we didn't affect the revenue coming from the ads. So our assumption was totally wrong, that we will cannibalize the revenue coming from ads, because we were selling like VIP with no ads. And it seems like the people who converted would not watch the ads again. So this was our learning from A/B test. Be data and community driven, and it's really valuable for us, because we are actually thinking of ourselves as a community driven. Like even if we know the data and we analyze it without being close to the community, we will never understand why we receive such the results. We will not receive we don't know what particular features are wanted by our community. For example, like we make a polls that if the players wanted PvP, we expected they want to PvP because we saw such ideas from the community. But after poll, it's shown us that they want rather cooperation. The 70% of the people wanted cooperation within our game. So it's community driven, data driven, but you have to connect those two things to understand actually why your game works. Okay, and now another part of my presentation. It's the company development. We are a bit late with time, so I will be much quicker. Don't depend on a single product. It's the most important for me, and it was the toughest lesson that I learned. Just showing you why. And here in the slide, I shown you the development of my company and how we earned. Like I told you, we were never counting on the feature. So those spikes are not featured. Like if you would be featured within, you should expect much more quicker this spike. If you can see, we were running for at least one year the game before the actual spike of the downloads and revenue come to our game. It was constant development of the game, constant featuring, week to week basic updates, and we were building our community, and we introduced multiplayer features. This spike that generated in Almighty was like introduced when we introduced the guilds and events, and our engagement arose. So Google just start to promote us. We of course didn't manage to get the same results on iOS, as their shop relates more on the UA performance, and we see currently that UA engage users, like UA performance on and the ASO performance on the iOS more than anything else. So as you can see, we had a spike, and later on we were developing only the single game. We didn't. We were working already within 2 developers, and we were only supporting this one particular game. Even when artists jumped in and we introduced events, we didn't start a new project before it was too late. Like, even if we made a lot of money for a 3-person company, we were seeing that with every month our bank account is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and this started to generate frustration, bad emotions, bad attitude, and we were being under constant pressure of starting a new product. And as you can see, it took us at least 1.5 years, or 1 and 2 months, or something like similar, because we were trying a lot of different games. We prototyped PvP games based on MMR rankings. We finished a match-free product that we didn't release because of market ability. We finished a simple idle clicker game that we actually released and were developing for 2 months, and after all, it turns out to not be working well with UA. So we just removed it to not spend any more money on it. And after all, we were really low. We were running low on the money, because we were self-funded, and just had to skip a bit time with my coworkers, and had to be alone again. And then I have developed the old product, Miner Settlement, which was before tested, and it was actually a project that was about to be killed as well, because we had day one retention 15 to 20%. After checking the data again and seeing the funnels, I introduced like a few changes that changed the game drastically. We received day one retention 42% in United States, 45%, and after this, because of the strategy, we had like only 3 days of the gameplay. So we introduced another week or 2 weeks of gameplay, and we see that players are actually enjoying the game. It was still without a monetization. As you can see, like we have the update in October or November of the game, and we didn't generate any revenue because we didn't have monetization within the game. And that was actually another thing that worth to mention in the game development, that engagement is actually the thing to monetize. And just quickly brief team scale and performance. My idea behind this is not actually that this doesn't work that way, that we need more people to gather better performance. It's actually true. However, we need to hire people only if we are needing this, and making this just scaling the game because we want to scaling the company because we want to hire a new person as a new programmer will not give us any better, because we have also the same task we wanted to make. So we are just hiring the people we really need and the product actually needs. For example, we are trying to achieve at the moment we are trying to live operate the game. So we are looking for live operators. We are also preparing another product because we don't want to make the same mistakes. So we are starting our product. We are thinking about making in-house competence for the UA and ISO and etc. So those are the real needs that we want to scale and to maintain the performance with the small company with the greater communication. We just want to hire the persons that we really need, and those persons have to be really good. So I rather to pay nice money for the good person that is actually doing a great job for me and taking a much better responsibility than hire free person that have to learn a lot, etc. Build tools along with the games. It's really short, but every our game was created in prototype in really quick things. It was because we along with the game we create the tools and modules to use within other games. For example, when we are building at the moment new RPG multiplayer game, we have everything almost ready. We have guilds. We have guilds that just we need only to add graphical content. We have also a chat system, really advanced chat system with stickers, everything. We have analytic tools. We have own library that is shared across all different projects, and this library, when we are updating this library, we are also supporting all the games at the same time. So if we had some minor bug in chat module, we are just fixing all at once. Build in-house competence. It was something that I said already. We have to build in-house competence because it's really important, and it's really important for the company. It's the most difficult task for the founder actually, because the company have to prepare the infrastructure first to support the people that are willing to join and help to raise the company. But it gives you much bigger possibilities. As a founder of the game development company nowadays, you have to be aware of the possibilities we have. And if you don't build your in-house competence, your growth will be blocked at some point. We had this issue with minor settlement, and then we had to start searching for the right partner to help us a bit, and we had to free ourselves from a few responsibilities that our small team wasn't able to handle at the moment. So we wanted to scale up at the game. We wanted to scale up the company. We wanted to grow. We were able to make a UA. We had really nice game at the moment. But to grow our company, we had to quickly gather some let someone our responsibility. So it's a really worth to mention that choosing the partner at the right time will help you grow the company. However, it's if you would have the competence in-house, you would not have to spend time and share your revenue with other players. So there are pros and cons of this. So I'm skipping to choose the right partners. and showing. We chosen the Tilting Point as a partner, but that was actually done because we talked a lot. We aligned the vision. It wasn't the first choice that we just did and let our partner together. So we are really happy with the results we managed. We've done that because they gave us the possibility to grow our company, and at the moment we've built the healthy partnership. However, there are few things worth of notice when you are partnering with someone. If you are partnering, it's a business to business, and business to business means that it should be a win-to-win solution. So you have to believe in the partner competence that he will rise up your game with your help. It's not something that it's not a miracle that if you are, for example, when you have the game that is losing UA, it's not working well. It's not a good time to partner with someone at the moment when you are not able to scale it alone. Because there is no miracle. The company that you are letting partner will do the same as you. Maybe they will have a bit more better competence, but it's really tough to partner and believe that when he will join, he will make for even lower stakes than you have the better results that you were able to do. So timing is the key with partnering, and you have to be aware of pros and cons when you are doing this. And of course, there is also build trust and be transparent. Don't hide anything from the potential partner, as this will resonate on your future cooperation, and there is no possibility to hide anything later on, as you share all the same data, and this can be really bad decision for you in the early talks. Okay, so now it's the last self-development actually, and for me it's the most difficult situation, because I was only this developer, and I wasn't about to build a company initially, but after many months I really liked when I did money for me actually, and I was happy with the results, I started to think that we can build really cool company, and it's really hard and important to build the culture of work from the very beginning. If we would not do that, it will be really hard. There will be personal problems, and when the more people are coming to the company, they align with the culture of work from the start. So if there is a stressful situation, they will feel stressed as well. So if you are building the healthy environment, the people who will join will try to align with this healthy environment. Also, second point, delegate responsibility, not task. I've been seeing a lot of mistakes by the leaders of teams, project leaders, etc., that they were delegating only the tasks, but not responsibility. So the people were doing their task and they didn't feel any responsibility for the main product, and this is something really bad. I'm hiring specialists, and I believe in their competence. I have to delegate their responsibility, because they work towards better results in product. If I would not believe in their competence, I would not hire them. So this is really important for me, and I cannot understand that few people are just delegating the task, not the responsibility. They are specialists, and they know what they have to do to make the product much better. Share your knowledge and vision. I'm totally transparent with my workers. I want to create smaller Supercell, so I want they to know everything about the game, how the changes affect the game. Even if they are artists, they want to participate in the creation of the game. They want to know why we are doing, for example, this style of art or something like this. Appreciate the team effort. This is something actually I still learning, but I think we are doing this good as a team, not only Chief, but I really appreciate my team. I really appreciate what they are doing, and I'm trying to show my appreciations to them every time we speak of, and they are really doing a great job. And minor settlement would not be the same if not my team. They have a free hand to do many things within the game, but this is turning out really good. We just share and align the same vision of the product. And the last one, be a good person, because being a chief is also being and understandable for the players, for the team members, for the whole community. So if we are running at the moment a Discord with 30,000 people, and I'm still communicating with them. I'm still talking to them. I'm spending the time to talk with them, and they are really happy, and they are helping us and share our goodwill and ideas with the game. So it's really important as well. Yeah, and thank you very much. I took a bit more time. Sorry, I wanted to share as much as I can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Derek, for great presentation and sharing knowledge. Actually, I see at Slido that we have quite a lot of questions, so I think it will be really interesting to discuss it. Alec, are you with us as well? So, the first question is a little bit more general, but I think really important. What was the most difficult for you as the beginning, as the founder? Yeah, once you were starting, like what was the hardest?
It's a tough question because it's not technical. So for me, I had to. I remember a lot of tough things in my journey. I think the toughest was like delegating the work to other people, because I was building a lot of experience, a lot of years, and it was something that I couldn't understand how to prepare my workers to align with my vision and align with my experience. So I think that was the toughest thing for me.
Because as I understand, it was kind of your baby, yeah. So.
Yes. Yes, exactly. It was the toughest thing to delegate the work and expect it to be as good as you want to have. Yeah.
Thank you, Derek.
Yeah.
Thanks. So maybe I will go to the next question. It's also about kind of the beginning. Is there a particular moment when you realized that it is a real business and not only for fun?
Well, this is I did realize it a bit quicker than my company started, actually, because I was doing I was doing games all my life, and I did a lot of games, but none of none of those got any success. I was working in GameShare, and it was really good company where I learned a lot. And then actually I took the lessons, and Almighty was something I didn't even expect it was so good at the first beginning. But when it started to make me money, I realized that can be something bigger. But I wanted just to be a single developer, making it at home, and I was doing this for 1 year, and next year I started to get some traction. I did, like I said in presentation, and implemented some multiplayer, people starting to talk to me, and it got really we there was a moment when I received too much emails and notification on Discord. So I started to think, oh, it's really it's starting to be a bit more than I thought that it was initially. And then I was starting to search for help.
Thank you. And like, you were talking about this A/B testing in your games. How you are doing that? Like, does it involve a lot of like manual like programming? Like, how does it work on your side?
Yes, so this require a lot of technical things. Even if you have a full live game, for example, we are testing the two different configs for the same target group, and your game have to be prepared technically for this. That it will work with first config and second config. We also have the server, so the server have to also support both configs without any errors. So we are sharing. We are not using like a single config for anything at the moment. We are using the lists of configs, and then we are using Firebase remote config to set different targets, A/B test different indexes of the configs. So we are just splitting our target between different configuration index of the configs. Like this is a single number in the remote config, in Firebase remote config, but the game loads different config on the client side. And one more thing, there is to A/B test it, we have to make a live game, so it have to be downloaded, not updated, because if something is bad, there would not be possibility to fix this live.
Mm-hmm. And like, how are you defining this target group that you mentioned?
It's totally different. For example, when we are testing conversion, or for example, in-app purchases. When we are testing in-app purchases, we are making this per platform, but to 100% of users, because we want to measure it really quickly. But when we are measuring, for example, retention, so we split, like we will take into account only 20% of our users. For example, if we have a large group, and we will also target this on the specific country to expect really good results. And this test will last much longer than for example this in-app purchase conversion. So it's depend on the KPI we want to measure actually.
Thank you.
Thanks. So maybe next question is, as you're working on metrics based on your experience, how high increase you can see as a success, as a realistic?
Based on experience, what percent increase you can see as success? Okay, so this is a too general question, but there is no limits. And I heard that you can fix the retention day one, like 10% maximum. Yeah, but all minor settlement was about to be being killed. This game wasn't about to be released because it had a 15 day one retention. And at the moment in United States, we have 45 day one retention. So like it's 30% higher. And it was just a small things that changed actually, but they were resonating too much for the players that we actually throw out the players of the game, and it was by our fault. So we have to measure the funnels, and if we see the biggest drop in the funnel, we are analyzing it deeper and deeper and deeper. So something like that. But if you are saying about, for example, RPU or LTV or ARPDAU, it's totally different thing. Like we are A/B testing this, and for example, we initially had like ARPDAU 30 cents. At the moment, we have ARPDAU like 15 cents in, for example, 15 or 16. It depends also.
Thank you. And like, the next question, like, are you outsourcing a lot of in your company, especially in topics related to game development? Like,
No. No. However, we at the moment are partnership with Tilting Point in UA side on the minor settlement. It's only deal with minor settlement. But it was the strategical decision to grow our company. At the moment, we had to split the responsibility towards different company, and it turns out really good. However, we don't do anymore like third-party outsourcing for example, for graphic design or something like that.
Okay, so are you doing that in-house?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next question that got votes is, how are you testing the prototypes? And how much time are you spending with them before you abandon a specific project?
Yeah, that's actually I like this question a lot. Well, we are not doing such a thing exactly like a prototype. We are doing a game. We are building a game for 3 days, and we are testing the possibilities. But along with the building of this game, we test before we start making graphical content. We test the marketability. We are after marketability, we are testing we are choosing our target audience to know what audience we want to measure. So after this, we are starting to we are making some graphical content, and we release them to Facebook ads, and we are measuring how they perform on the target audience that we chosen before this. And as I said in my presentation, there is no such a thing like a clear success in the game. You have we can only minimize the risk on each step of the development of the game. So we have to make the most of our take the most of our experience, and minimize the risk as much as we can. For example, we know that at the moment we have to find another working game. So we are measuring all the things around our current game. We are measuring what we can actually do, what target audience we can, for example, take into our new game, and what those people are liking. Like we have Discord community for this, and we are making polls, we are asking questions, because on the Discord we have the most of the people that are most active are whales actually. So those the people that we want to target within our new games.
So are you doing like kind of polls around the games, around the features, like what the
No. We are like also about the features, but also around like just simple daily things, like who are you in the real life, like what do you like most, like the kind of things that few years ago were like that IDFA is now deprecated, so we are targeting towards different things at the moment, and we are preparing for that actually. That
to understand better, like what is this target audience and
yes, what they do, like how do they make money, or who are they, or do they have the family or something like that. And of course we are rewarding for them, and this is totally anonymous because we can't share the data, but we, even if it's anonymous, we have the mass, so
Sure.
we have the data.
And following on that question, you mentioned that you are doing UA with your current partner, but are you going to build your own UA competence for next games? How are you thinking about growing the company in the future?
Yes, 100%. It's like I don't think this minor settlement deal with Tilting Point would work if we would not make a UA performance test before before. So we were able to scale the UA performance to $75,000 around in-house already, and we are making good money from that. But so we were doing this in-house, but we wanted a bit more, and we knew that we don't have UA competence to do that. For example, to split between different networks. To do that, you have to.
You mean like 75 in total, or like monthly?
Monthly. It was spent like $75,000 monthly spent, and we were able to be ROAS positive, and but we started to struggling a lot. It's first of all, we are self-funded, so this stakes are already high, and another thing was that. We didn't have persons responsible for content and motion graphics, So I was struggling that I was letting this actually outside of the game, but a few times we had really bad situations, like someone from third party was using not our character, and if not our people inside the company, I would not notice this, and we would possibly may had problems, so after this I decided to make this only in-house, and yeah.
Okay, so one of the last questions. What KPIs are you focusing on now?
Yeah, like my slides answered this. So in minor settlement, I'm focusing in not on the KPIs itself, but on early funnels. So possibly the retention rate, but not day one, day zero, but how we want to push the most of users into the late game. To join this social fun, etc. And along with that, we try to convert them into the payers. So we even now trying to get as much revenue coming in the first days. So we rather want to convert the players into the payers, so they stay longer into the game, they invested into our game, they engage our game because they already paid for that. Yeah,
sure.
We want to gather as much players as we can. Yeah.
And probably last question, but of course not the least one, is there any specific big mistake you learned quite a lot from, or anything that you still consider as okay, maybe not the nicest, but nicest experience, but still good for the future, for the company, or something that you would see as okay, it's really good to remember about for the people, making sure that they kind of at least have the chance to avoid it?
Yes, this is the first. Don't depend on a single product, because it was actually the thing that could possibly kill my company once a day. And at the moment, we all, this is not only our case. Like, I know the biggest companies in Poland have the same issues, that they can't repeat the success. And that's something. You can, if you have one single product and it's successful, you can't believe that it will be running forever. So you have to search. When you have money, you have to search for another product that will give you another success. For example, if something bad happened, you still have another game that is working quite well.
So as kind of as I understand, to rephrase it, like, think about the next product once
Yes.
that is successful, not one starts to decline. Yeah, because then it's even kind of harder.
Yes, because when it starts to decline, you have already deadline. Like, you have already to think that, and you have already started to think about money running out, and you starting to feel constant pressure and feel bad. If you have money, you can invest money, you can measure, you can try different things, you can be creative. And when you don't have money, you can't be creative. You have to fight for survive.
Okay, that's actually, it's like, we actually, we went to all questions, like, thank you for Derek, like, for your time. Like, it was really, really, like, pleasure hosting you here. Thank you, Alec, for joining. Thank you, everyone, for, like, listening and being with us. Of course, we are encouraging you to, like, join any other GameCamp webinars in the future. Go to the GameCamp.io website, and then you can expect recordings from the previous sessions, at least in those cases where the people, like, agree to share the recording, and then like, feel free to join the next sessions that will be announced or are announced. So again, thank you, Derek.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. I wish you all a really nice day, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.